What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from DataDash, and today is March 8th of 2024. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's video, I want to spend some time to talk about how in less than 24 hours, I was able to more than double my position on an altcoin in the meme market. Today, we're not only going to be talking about the story of my trade on meme AI and how we're continuing to bet on higher prices. I just doubled down on my position. But outside of that as well, I want to spend some time to talk about how I found meme AI as a trade, how you can find winning meme coins in the market, and beyond all this as well, how to actually approach meme coins in a risk-adjusted manner. Not sitting on the sidelines and not being exposed, but at the same time, not going all in and risking all of your capital. Today we're going to be talking about all that and more throughout this video, so if you happen to enjoy it, consider dropping a like, and let's go ahead and kick things off. Now, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit here about the trade that I got into less than 24 hours ago. So we basically built a position here at around 0.6 of a cent here for meme AI. And as you can already tell here from the chart, you'll see that we had a clear breakthrough here back on March 4th, a couple of days ago, and we've already had a really nice tear. So a lot of people would probably have the immediate reaction of, oh, I missed the trade, I'm not gonna get into it, it's already way too high. But I understand while that may be the case in some previous trades in the past, the key thing I've always emphasized in this channel is that if there are winners in the market and they keep winning, you want to keep betting on them. And outside of that as well, with meme coins, that is even more true considering that so many of these are market order driven cryptocurrencies where people again are willing to pay the spread here and continue driving it higher, especially when you essentially get all the weak hands, all the short-term traders out. And that's usually what you see in these technical formations. So I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what made me kind of click on meme AI and what makes me really genuinely believe here, right? At the end of the day, guys, the reason why I built this position is not to just double my money, get out, and walk away. This is something that I think can really multiply to a big even level like 10 cents. It may be able to go even much higher than that. Memes have no real direct fundamental value. It is purely speculation and, more importantly, trend analysis. So we're going to be talking about that today. The first thing we got to understand here, the thing that clicked me on to meme AI, is that it's a top performer in the market. At the end of the day, if I see a meme coin that is consecutively day by day bringing in solid double-digit returns, and along with that as well is leading against the crowd on good volume, that to me is a really good sign. It shows me that this is what's tracking in the market right now. Any dips, whether they be short-term or over at a daily time frame, are usually getting bought up at key moving averages, which we'll discuss later on. Generally speaking, it's been continuing to charge up here. If I would have employed that mindset, I wouldn't have doubled my capital, meaning like if I would have said, oh, it's too high up, already rallied a couple hundred percentage points, I'm not going to make the trade. You miss out on those opportunities, and you have to needlessly just simply look back at some of the other memes, which we're going to be taking a look at here, such as WIF, for example, was fractions of a penny back here. But when it made its move here, right, even if you bought late to the trade here, right after an already, just take a look here, 2,500% move. If you would have even bought that local top, you still had the opportunity to ride a near more than 10,000% move, nearly 12,000% move on WIF. Now, of course, WIF is one of the ones that's done really well. I'm not saying that in this case, meme AI is going to do something like this. But you take a look back at Pepe as well, right? Pepe, off of its initial listing, right down here, already made a 1,600% move, right? Then consolidated sideways and then continued onwards to make a near 15,000% move on its price. And even after that, there were not only great short-term bump ups during this period of consolidation over the last year, but outside of that, once we finally cleared through some of these levels, which we're going to take a look back at these charts here in a moment, you can see that the multiples can still come in. Pepe has massively outpaced the broader market, it's outpaced Bitcoin during this period of time, and is continuing to charge forward and be one of the top performing assets over the past few weeks. So again, buy into strength. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to pay a premium, because the idea here is that the premium multiple that's going to start getting paid on it over the next week or two and the next month, so long as the trend is staying strong, so long as those moving averages are holding on, is going to be much higher. Right? And the second thing here, this kind of leads me to talking about even I think an equally more important point. You can go out there and you can buy into Pepe, you can buy into Doge, a lot of these plays, and who knows, maybe they will continue to outpace BTC, they might outpace the broader altcoin market, as it is one of the central narratives of this cycle that we've talked about for the past couple months. However, when you take a look at something like meme AI, when I was building my initial position, it was about a $4 or $5 million market cap, and even after doubling here, you're sitting at an $8.7 million market cap. That's really not much in the grand scheme of crypto, right? Right? This is a big point here to keep in mind here. So if you're trying to go in on Pepe or on Doge, that are multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrencies, the markets of scale are going to probably be a lot lower than something that's sitting at near rock bottom here. That really is an uncharted territory, and we're still trying to figure out when you're going to actually see that kind of sell side pressure, which so far in the price action we're not seeing. Now I want to take a look here at price analysis. This is something you guys can take away. It's kind of a textbook example of what I look for here and why I've still got my sights set here for at a minimum like 10 cents on meme kind of climbing up here. The main thing I'm watching for is a fewfold. First off, I look for the Q, the breakout. I'm looking for descending lines of resistance where price is getting shot down. Weak hands are starting to unload positions, and you essentially are selling into people who essentially want to hold the position long term and have the time to wait. And that's exactly what happened here from February all the way here to March. We saw continued descending resistance, a clear breakthrough, the next day holding on that previous resistance as support, and a nice double-digit move followed by double-digit move. And you can see this is the 4-hour chart here. So you have to keep on the shorter-term time frames. These things move pretty quick. But overall, we got the initial break on resistance. You've got a nice day or two of follow-through. And it got to the point here where even though it had made a really nice move so far, for me, I had the cues. I had multiple days of green price action. I had the clear line of resistance broken and the market cap that's going to give me the ability to scale much higher in positions, right? So essentially here, that's why I believe we've got that opportunity. We've seen this in the past here. And again, if we take it from the absolute lows here up to where it is now, it's made a 1700% move. Sounds like a lot, but we understand that these plays can go even higher than that. Now, this is the kind of technical trade setup here that we're looking for. But beyond that, it's also important to maintain your trades. So as we've talked about here, we want to make sure our momentum moving averages are looking good on the hourly and 4-hour time frame. Beyond that as well, we want to see on some key moving averages like the 9 SMA and the 21 SMA, the price is holding above these ranges. The 21 SMA here could be a really good cue here for essentially the trend really fading off. I like to watch the 9MA here because this is resilient support so far for where meme AI is. We could take it here to the hourly time frame as well, right? And the key thing here, I would say, is the 4-hour time frame is going to be your friend. These moving averages will adapt to the time frame, but I recommend setting your moving averages to that 4-hour time frame and seeing how price is interacting with it. You can also use the 1 hour to essentially, excuse me, not the 1 hour time, but the 1 hour time frame for the 21 SMA. To find those buy the dip opportunities. Every single time we can see here, I'll turn off our drawings. You can see that purple line every time we came there, buyers coming in here. So again, these are the kind of moving averages I like to look for. They're momentum moving averages or MOMO indicators that are essentially signaling that this has got the confidence to continue charging forward. So that's, again, an important thing here, guys. I'm not here to just sell you on meme AI. I don't like it really fundamentally from any perspective. There's nothing fundamental about meme coins. It's a network effect. It's about market order flow. And if there are more buyers than sellers in the order book, then that's the most important thing. Now, there is 1/3 final check and balance. You may love the chart. You may like the potential for something like meme AI to easily 10x if it gets the right buy-side pressure and traction in the market and attention. But beyond all this, one of the really important things you guys need to consider is smart contract risk. Now, this has gotten a bit better over time as meme coins have become a bigger sector. And generally speaking, there have been a lot of new providers that have come to the market that can help to filter out scams and malicious contracts. So the first thing I care about with meme AI is focusing in on the actual smart contract itself, the actual token, because tokens can have unique feature sets that can essentially allow for certain types of activities from the developers, from early stage holders, the creators, and that's an important dynamic to consider. Now, if you essentially, I'll show you how to get here. If you have a coin like meme AI on CoinMarketCap, the best thing to do is click on markets, click on the decentralized exchange pair, so in this case, meme AI wrapped ETH, and then go down here to security scan by Go Plus. You first off want to make sure that it's been confirmed that it's not a honeypot, or there's no honeypot risk. So that's a good sign. Outside of this, well, that the contract has been verified, that it's public and open to analysis, and that all of these boxes are ticked off here essentially. Buy and sell taxes are not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. They may be charged in this case to support the developer who created the token, but at the end of the day, I think overall, if you have all of these ticked off here, you're going to be in good hands. No cooldown period function, no anti-whale function. The token in this case can't be essentially locked. There's no hidden owner address. So essentially all the things that a malicious actor could utilize have not been activated on this contract. And it's not to say that they don't own some of the tokens, they can't sell it at some point. I'm not here to tell you it's a guarantee that therefore because of this, it's just going to go up into the moon forever. My main point here is that overall, you've got a much better setup here. It is much less likely to provide a rug pull or some kind of major pullback of any sort during this period of time. And it has the ability, I think, as a foundation to be able to move much longer than a smart contract that has some of these potential exploit points from early stage founders. Again, at the end of the day here, I'm not assuming that the founders of these protocols and their tokens are doing anything for the faint of heart or for the good of people. But at the end of the day, if the trend's there, you can trade it. And that's the same with all cryptocurrencies out there, guys. We know our narratives that we're excited about. There are some more fundamental plays out there. But at the same time, we're traders at the end of the day. We're trying to maximize returns here on these positions. Another one as well, just as a kind of example of like another low runner that I'm watching, is Gorilla. This one, again, if we take a look back here at the percentage returns from its initial listing here, went up a whopping, wow, I mean, that's, okay, that's maybe like, let's pull it here. Let's pull it here to the kind of more initial listing range. So about a, more than 10,000% move, 11,200% move. And then a nice period of consolidation since back in November, finally getting a solid breakthrough in the line of resistance. I think this one can easily come up to double back to where it was previously at its all-time highs, but go even higher. It's got the market cap set up here. The fully diluted value is around 13 million. The branding in this case, Gorilla, playing on the whole ape brand in crypto, about aping in and going crazy. I'm not as much of a degen. I'm not going all in on any of these plays, but I think that you've got the potential here, even after a move like we've seen, about 200%, for this thing to get back to the prior highs, to go even higher, and maybe even test some key even psychological levels like 10 cents, 20 cents, you name it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'll keep a watch for here. This is a great example. Again, I just simply am looking for top performers in the market. To do this, you can go to categories on CoinMarketCap. They have memes as one of the top sectors here. Take a look at the last 24 hours, and we can see that these are some of the top performing plays here. We've got Meme at the top. We have a couple other ones here as well, like Milady's meme coin, Floki. Some large caps holding up here for sure. Definitely playing it. And also it's important to look out for some of the different meme coins, like for example ERC20. This one has always been kind of trending higher, but if you simply look at the chart, something's not right here with the pairing, and the volume is very low. Liquidity is very low too, so you have to make sure that you ignore the market cap sometimes and focus more in whether or not you're seeing liquidity and volume. Also, another thing that's a huge benefit is having token lockers. So essentially, usually you'll see this on CoinMarketCap to some extent, where if liquidity is locked for a certain period of time, so the liquidity can't be essentially rug pulled from the order book, so to speak. That's another really important thing to look out for. But we've got some really great plays here that are, again, taking on the leaderboard here. And again, it's just about filtering out those plays, making sure you've got ones that are showing up in the 24-hour time frame, on the 7-day time frame, and not being afraid, again, to pay that premium here when they're holding on those moving averages. Now, the big thing I wanted to get to, guys, is talking about the kind of broader trend. I know we had a big focus here on meme coins in today's video, which, again, I know may be a bit of a surprise to some of you guys. We, again, for a lot of 2023, have been kind of bearish, but now we're getting into this point, as we talked since back in October 2023, that altcoins are here. And there's some serious signs that a altcoin cycle or a mini altcoin cycle, some kind of substantial move in altcoin dominance going to the upside, is coming here probably in the near term. I say that because Bitcoin is starting to see, while it did have a nice resilient bounce here on March 6th, it's holding up here around $67,000. It is at those prior all-time highs. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to be exactly going down sharply by any means. We'll have to see how things play out. But the main thing here is that after Bitcoin's had this really great run-up, there is a lot of liquidity in the system. And in this case, a big disparity from where altcoins were back during November 2021 and where they are now. Another way to really just look at this is taking a look at others' dominance. Back here in November of 2021, we were sitting at around 16 to 19% others dominance. So this is the total dominance of all other plays other than Bitcoin. Now, this market is always growing. There are new narratives coming in. And as we've seen throughout history, although there's no absolute guarantee that it has to happen. But generally speaking, if we analyze history, we can see here that there's essentially an expansion of market dominance over time. So what we wrote about in the Dash report here the other day, and this is why we've been starting to take a little bit more of a risk-on approach into meme coins, is that we've been watching to see if this continues to hold here like it has for the past few months since back in November. And it has. We're starting to get nice green buildup here that could lead us going much higher, like we have seen throughout history, towards new highs and dominance. So this is why, again, I've emphasized this point here that if you've been kind of in cash, you don't have to be considered late to the party here, guys. There are a lot of opportunities in meme coins. I mean, just in the past few hours, less than 24 hours, being able to make a double on a position in your portfolio, I think is awesome. I'm not saying you should go all in, and yes, it's not a total double of all my money, but I'm not putting all my money in crypto, right? I'm someone who, again, has made really great returns in the past, and I'm going to be preserving and protecting most of my capital. But these are the kind of plays where you can have that fractional exposure in the same way people argue having that fractional exposure to Bitcoin. But in this case, you can risk 1% of your capital like you would maybe with Bitcoin and make much more sizable returns, have a much better risk reward profile here. And if you lose that 1%, it's not the end of the world. So I think, again, having like it depends on how small like your portfolio is and how much you're willing to risk of that. I would say 1 to 5% maximum to meme coins. But having these few bets, placing those bets on the key winners, those that are continuing to remain strong, I like those kind of plays here. And again, no matter how altcoin dominance really plays out here over the long run, I think that you need to keep an eye on meme coins as a trend, especially the ones that are holding up. And if they continue to be producing the best returns that we're seeing in the market, like we have seen over the past couple of days, then I'm going to continue to bet on this trend until I see signs that those moving averages are starting to break. So anyways, that's it for today's video, guys. I rambled on a pretty good amount here. Again, keep an eye here on market dominance. Keep an eye on total 3 against Bitcoin. We're starting to see those signs that there's resilience here where the altcoin market is not having, it's not moving lower against Bitcoin. We've been practically neutral since back here in June of 2023 on total 3. And I think that there's going to be a lot of plays and opportunities. If you guys want to see what coins I'm buying in the market, if you want to know when I'm getting in, when I'm selling, what my portfolio allocation is, then you guys can sign up for the Dash report down below in the description. It's our monthly newsletter here on the channel. But beyond the 20-page report that we send out on the first of each month, which you'll get when you sign up for the Dash report, you guys get to join our mid-month webinars where you can ask me questions. You get to join our Dash report discussion group where there are a ton of people who are even more in tap and with a lot of the narratives and hot plays in the market than myself. We're sharing ideas and conversing with one another, people along with that as well, who I think have a lot of trading experience in crypto. But beyond that as well, you also get our trade alerts group and a whole range of other resources. So if you guys are interested, check it out down below. You guys can get 20% off if you sign up on an annualized basis. But that's it for today's video, everyone. Thank you all so much for checking in to today's video. Again, if you happen to enjoy it, consider dropping a like. It's a great way to support the channel. And again, I want to make one important note here, guys, is that at the end of the day, while meme coins are definitely speculative in nature, while I don't really like them from a fundamental basis, at the end of the day, you've got to trade with the trend. If you're looking for opportunity in the market, if you're putting capital at risk, you've got to know that there's the momentum behind it to continue progressing forward. So that's it for today's video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.